Hello and welcome to another episode of Beer Man's Notable Beer Reviews. Today I have another beer from Westbrook Brewing Company out of Charleston, South Carolina. This is their 9th anniversary beer. It is called Peanut Butter and Chocolate Stout. It's pretty simple. The description just says Imperial Stout brewed with peanut butter, cocoa nibs, and vanilla. And it is 10.0 ABV. Yeah, that's all it's on here. So I have not. So actually, I was gonna say I haven't had this before. I haven't had this variant of it, but at one of the A-State releases, someone had a crowler of a variant of this. So it was this plus. I think it was raspberries. It's supposed to be like a peanut butter and jelly type thing, and I like that a lot. So I'm curious how this base is going to be. I'm generally not the biggest fan of peanut butter beers, but there's a couple different things like that I don't love. But when Westbrook has done them, they've been good. So we'll see how this turns out. Sorry, I do apologize for that quick pause there. I had noticed that the TV was still on in the background, and I wanted to shut it off so it wasn't interrupting the audio. So you can see it pours a pretty dark brown color with a darker tan head. Pretty dark head for not a huge stout. I know generally ABV has nothing to do with the color of it, because you can get something like that's lower ABV if there's a ton of like black patent in there or something, but it seems to tend to go hand in hand. The head itself though doesn't look like it looks pretty carbonated, maybe more than I would expect from a stout. So there is a lot of peanut butter flavor for sure, or peanuts at least. I guess I do get a little bit of, like, it's actually more vanilla than chocolate, which is interesting. But I guess in general it kind of does smell like a Reese's cup, but, you know, to me those smell a lot more like peanut butter than chocolate. I don't know what it is about Westbrook, but their stouts are just like the base of them are perfect. I'm not talking about the flavors that are laid on top of it, you know, in this or any other one. But it's like before I even taste it, you know, the way it glides over the tongue, it's very substantial. I don't know if I would call it thick with 3 C's, but it's pretty hefty. You know, about one of the thicker type things you can get without it being super under attenuated. This is definitely not under attenuated. I mean, it is a little sweet, but I think it's more of a perception from the stuff that's in it versus actual sweetness. Like I wouldn't even. I don't know. To me, I know most people think pastry stout has to do with the things that are in it, and yeah, that is definitely a big part of it. But for me, it's that plus the fact that it's like pretty sweet. So, I know I had a debate with someone about like whether Mexican cake would fall under that because it's cake, quote unquote flavored, but I don't think that they're that sweet, so I wouldn't put them under that. And this is kind of the same way. So it's for sure big on the peanut butter up front. then it finishes, like, you taste that peanut butter at first and you, like, automatically assume that it's going to be sweet. But then that drops off and it finishes with, like, this really deep, dark baker's chocolate, almost like a coffee-ish character. And it's pretty bitter in the finish, too, but it's... I don't know if it's from the IBUs from the hops or it's something from the roast, but it's not like burnt or ashy. It's just like natural bitterness from dark malts, or I don't know. I'm guessing it's a pretty hefty amount of IBUs for a 10% stout. You know, they didn't scale it back to make this artificially, or not artificially, but just to make it sweet in general. So, to me, this is the type of flavored stout that I like, because you get a good bit of that flavor up front, but then it finishes with a nice, bitter, roasty character. Like, you're actually tasting the stout. It's not just kind of a blanket for the rest of the flavors. It's still like the predominant character of the whole beer. You know, it's especially in these scenarios, like, you smell it more. You definitely taste it a lot, but it's like up front and then it changes. The smell is like all peanut butter, but the flavor is definitely not. It's kind of a tale of two things. Yeah, it's like peanut butter, and then you expect sweetness, and then you're like, oh, damn, there's some bitter chocolate on the back end of that. I'm just one, because I think pretty much all of these anniversaries end up getting barrel aged. So I'm really curious how this is going to translate to the barrel. Probably be pretty good. So on my scale of buy, drink, dump, I'm just gonna give this one a drink, but that's definitely being completely hedonistic on this one. I'm gonna have trouble getting through this whole bottle. I'm not gonna dump it because it actually, I think it's one of the better peanut butter beers I've ever had, to be honest. I just don't love peanut butter beers, and so I'm glad I tried it. I think they did a very good job on it, but I just don't see a reason for me to buy this again, like, because they do some, not even looking outside of competitors, they just do so many other stouts that I would rather drink than this. And again, it's because I love peanut butter, the food. I love peanut butter, but I just don't really like it in beer for whatever reason. And it doesn't come off like fake in this either. It tastes like real peanuts. It's just, I don't know. It's weird, a weird thing for me in beer, and it seems to just cover everything up. Not even as much in this, but I don't know. I just don't love that flavor profile. So I'm just gonna give this one a drink. But if you like peanut butter beer, peanut butter stouts, or anything, definitely try to get this, because you'll get the peanut butter that you're looking for, but you also get a really, really nice stout underneath, which I think is what they were probably going for. So they definitely did a good job of it. I think that's all I got on this one. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think, and I look forward to doing the next one. Thanks.